Yes, we are staying non-stop on this story that is first playing out here on Times Now. What is now coming out at a very crucial decision by the Supreme Court affirming to the Narendra Modi government's demonetization move back in 2016, stating that there was no flaw in the decision-making process. And the top court has said that the centre had the power to demonetize all series of banknotes, adding that the 8th of November 2016 decision cannot be said to be unreasonable, nor was it hit by the doctrine of proportionality. So the top court said that there were adequate consultation that had taken place between the centre and the Reserve Bank of India before the note ban decision was taken. However, Justice B.V. Nagratna differed from the majority view and rendered a dissenting judgment. But earlier it was the same bench that had reserved its verdict before hearing elaborate arguments from the government and also from the petitioners, who argued that the note ban decision was arbitrary, it was unconstitutional and contrary to the powers and procedures that have been prescribed under the RBI Act. However, the centre had justified the decision to demonetize 1,000 rupee and 500 rupee notes, stating that the decision was taken to crack down on fake currency, black money and also on terror financing, and that has been upheld by the Supreme Court of India, saying that there was no flaw in the decision-making process that had taken place. And thereafter, the very idea of demonetization that has been taken by the Modi Sarkar back in 2016, they have been saying that it was neither unreasonable nor was it hit by the doctrine of proportionality. So we are getting mixed reactions from the opposition parties, as we have been trying to get their reactions also on this issue, because there has been mainly the point of attack that has been from the opposition side, and they had continuously raised questions on the Modi Sarkar's decision to demonetize 100,000 rupee and 500 rupee notes back in 2016. But this is as far as the two judgments are concerned, one by Justice B.R. Gavai and another by B.V. Nagratna. This remains to be seen, one of the dissenting views and majority concurring views that is now being seen.
Country, Mr. Ashwini Kumar. Sir, how do you see this judgment coming in?
This is a very important judgment. It had political implications, it had constitutional and legal implications. For the moment, the Supreme Court has stamped the economic policy decision of the government with its approval. I think this should be the end of the legal challenge to it. It is the end of the legal challenge, unless there is a curative petition or a review petition, which I don't think is likely to succeed. Politically, it is up to the opposition to keep it alive. However, the matter is now 6 years old, and the nation has gone through whatever pain it had to go through because of this, and whatever benefits had to accrue to the nation are all there. I think, in a way, for the moment, the issue should now be allowed to rest.
Does this judgment also validate all the perceptions that the government wanted people to understand? Terrorism, Naxalism, fake money and whatsoever.
I don't think that is the intentment of the judgment. The judgment has...
Nalin Kohli of the BJP is with us. Let's get a first BJP reaction as well. Sir, you are a lawyer yourself. What do you make of the Supreme Court that upholding the Modi Sarkar's move of demonetization back in 2016, sir?
So let's look at it from the legal principles first. The government, as the elected government, has the executive power, the administrative power to take a decision. Obviously, the decision has to be based on certain statutes and powers that the government has. If someone is dissatisfied with that, they can approach the court, because the court has the power of judicial review. That's so part of the basic structure of our constitution. Now, when it goes to the court, the petitions in all sides give their arguments, they present their arguments, and the court has heard it patiently. Thereafter, a judgment comes. That judgment is upholding the decision, which means now there has to be closure. No malafide has been found. The government's power to have taken that decision is confirmed. The court has found the decision itself is correct. Even if there is a differing view, the majority decision holds. The differing view normally tends to be on a certain aspect in terms of an interpretation. But finally, the majority decision confirms that the decision itself is correct and there's no malafide in it. Now, one will hope that will bring closure to the politicization that political parties and certain individuals have preferred to do. because the court has spoken its mind, gone through the entire process, and finally come out with its judgment. But unfortunately, one wonders that whether it would be the story of the Rafale, in which when the government took the decision in the interest of the country, bought the Rafale aircraft for our defense purposes, this was challenged in the court. The court heard it, and finally the court upheld the government's decision. Yet there were a set of individuals who decided to keep politicizing it and expressing their unhappiness with the court decision. The court is independent, and this is the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Once that judgment has come, one would expect that there is closure and no further politicization. And,
right, because you're talking about the political implications here, Mr. Kohli. When it comes to the petitioners there, when the elaborate hearings that were taking place contended that the objective of demonetization, as were mentioned by the government, were false and could not have been achieved by demonetization. But the Supreme Court has said that it is not relevant whether the objective has been achieved or not, upholding the demonetization move. What's your take on that, sir?
Exactly, and that's pretty basic, which is what those who are bringing up this argument must understand. For example, that there would be the power to build a road will exist with the government. The government builds the road. It estimates maybe 10 lakh people will use it. Suppose 7 lakh people use it. So somebody could challenge and say, no, 10 lakh are not using it, only 7 lakh are using it, so the purpose is not solved. That would be an incorrect argument, and that would not be an argument that could hold any water.
All right. Mr. Nalin Kohli, thank you very much for your point of view. Well, that was the first BJP reaction also that we are getting. And in a way, they have been talking about how the Supreme Court has upheld the decision of the Modi Sarkar back in 2016 when it